The recording is, yeah, now it's started. So how that will happen? So it is getting saved into Google Drive. So after the session is over, I'll be processing that link and then we'll be sharing to you. So you can maybe mail me or let me share your mail ID to me so that I can share you afterwards, right? Yeah, so let's start. So hello everyone, welcome to UI UX design training. So this will be a job oriented training session, as it might have already communicated to you, and we'll be having a look at the what are the job perspective of UI UX design and how you can land into it, and what are the things that are related, what are the things that is practiced in the industry which you need to know, and things around it. And we'll be ending the session this has been the concept has been divided into four different sessions through 4 weeks, in which we will be creating the research part, we'll be covering the ideation part and prototyping part, micro interactions and all, interaction part, animations, and then we'll be ending all the things with the portfolio thing, right? So starting with that. So, hello everyone. My name is Aditya Sharma. I'm a user experience designer and design researcher. So, I've been doing masters at NID Bangalore. Before that, I was working as a visual and motion designer at Amazon India and design lead at an academy. Apart from that, I'm a visiting faculty at Designers Lab, Bangalore, and working as a design researcher at Rapido for their customer side and their captain side. So I'm responsible for creating, like, improving the UX flows and making research according to that, so that the UX can be improved, the overall, and that is impacting the UI, right? So that was a little bit about me. And before I jump onto uh, the starting of the topic, I just want to interact with the people who are here, and I just want to know what are your thoughts on design, and what is there that you already know, and so that we could have a basic sensibility that from where we are and how we can shape this entire training up. So yeah, open to you. So I would like to have this session very interactive. So please feel free to ask any questions and share anything, and nothing like that. So it would as interactive as it can be, the best it will be. Yeah, Ronak is
Yeah,
yeah.
so my thoughts on design is that it's basically used to make anything, means any product, more interactive and more entertaining for the user, and on the basis of their experience and their expectations.
Yes, right, very rightly said. And what about others? Any other comments? Any other additions to it? Does anyone want to add to it? Something you some your more thoughts on it, on this? How you think about design, or maybe UI UX design? You can share your views on UI UX design. That what you already know, and what you are currently doing, maybe. Yes.
Aditya, this is Tarun. Just want to know, like, we're doing hands-on as well, build creating a low fidelity, high fidelity sort of storyboarding template, something like that.
Yes. This all this training will be a hands-on training. So we'll be
Okay.
starting with the design research and like how to like ideate on like how to explore problem statements, and then we'll be proceeding ahead with the low fidelity, high fidelity, and then we'll be ending it with the prototyping part.
Okay.
So
And
complete process will be completed, like covered.
okay. And once we are done with the training, can we say that we are a jump start of what 1 to 2 years experience?
Yeah, you can say that. So, see, so saying that after four sessions you will be very good, that like I will be very polite, I cannot say that, but yes, you will be getting enough exposure of what is going on in the industry. And see, design is a thing that is more explorative, and it gets enriched as soon like as you explore more and more into design. So we can whatever we can discuss in these four sessions will be something that is coming in immediately into our minds, and then we are discussing on that. There would be many other things that you will explore as soon as you get to know different things, and you get to explore different things. You get to explore different technologies. Maybe tomorrow you are working in the AR/VR technology, and then you get to know new thing. There would be a set of new problem statement that will be coming up, and then there will be new explorations into it. So it keeps on repeating an iterative process that is. But yeah, at the end of the session, you'll be knowing much about what this is all about, and how to like shape your career, and how to jumpstart your design journey into industry.
Great, Aditya. Very much excited to go ahead.
Yeah, same here, same here. Anyone else? Anyone else would like to add something to it? Yeah, Aishwarya. So Aishwarya is totally new to this field. The should be as the customer is compelled to stay on the page. Yes, engagement is a aspect of design. Truly said.
माधव पीटेंगे तुमको हम.
So let's start. So like you're seeing on the slide that it is written everything around us is design. So why it is written like that? So whenever we talk whenever we pick up any object, when we pick up any object or anything around us, that is a result of well thought process, well thought research, and then it has been created. Even for the mobile phone or the mouse that you're using, that is a result of well thought process. And like it addresses to some usability issues that people faced at that time, and then as a result of it got invented, right? So similarly as mouse, there are so many things around us which are like that. We might be using it day to day, we might be using it in day to day life, but that is that is so inculcated in our daily life that we don't think of it in a design perspective, right? But yeah, if you closely look at it, if you closely analyze it, you will find out that there is a thought process that has gone into it, and then something has come out of it, right? So that's why it is said that I'll say that everything around is design. Anything from a needle to maybe school bag or anything that you find out around you, that all is a result of design process. It has been thought in a specific way, it has been designed in a specific way. There would have been iterations on it, like what is working and what is not working, and then you have came to some like then the manufacturer would have come to some point that this is something that user is wanting, and this will be a successful thing in the upcoming time. So that is how everything is placed. So that's why we say that everything around us is design. So now we say that. So that might be question. There arises a question is, why do we need design actually? So whenever we say that we need design, so design is not only about the aesthetics. So people can get confused about the aesthetic part of the design. That whatever looks good is a design, but aesthetics come at a later point of time, after you have done all the ideation, you have done all the research, and then you have ideated on solutions. Then comes the role of the aesthetic, where you make the functionality better, and then you top it up with the help of good looking designs or good looking aesthetics, so that people feel people feel related to it, and they get engaged to it, like how Aishwarya said, customer is compelled to stay on the page. So that is in context to UI UX design, maybe web page or mobile application. But yeah, there are tangible aspects of it. Like there is a UI UX design for digital products as well as physical products. Like I'll show you one. I'll just show you one example of. Are you able to see? Are you able to see this? Are you all able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just have a look at this video and then I will talk about this. So this is a project that is based on tangible user interfaces, which includes digital aspect of the UI UX design as well as the physical aspect of UI UX design. And this project was created in that domain.
The old lion and the fox. There was an old lion.
I just fast forwarded a little bit so that we could cover it. So there's a video that is playing now. And as soon as you remove the device, the connection gets lost and then it is finished. So this was the video. So this was so the project that you just saw, that was a result of a tangible user interface. Like the brief was to design a playful search interface, especially for children, that does not include a screen, but that this falls under the interaction design domain. So how you can make things in a way that it does not use only digital medium but physical mediums as well. But like this, if you search on internet about infinity cube, what infinity cube is, it is just a toy, fidget toy. Like you know about fidget spinner. You all know about fidget spinner, the circular thing which have three ends
Yes,
and
sir.
then you rotate
Yes,
it.
sir.
Yeah. So this is also kind of that toy, Infinity Cube. Just that what we have did here is we have included the haptics along with it, so that if you touch faces, there are three selections on the cube, and when you place it on the base, there would be like it would detect the selections that you have made, and based on those selections, it will search for the stories that is related to those three characters, and it will show it on your screen, and you will be able to just select those stories and you view that. So it was the idea was to create the interface in is that much simpler level, so that even the children do not need to think much on it. They can just press on it three times and then they can put on it, and rest of the thing it can happen automatically. So this is a device that we ideated that can be connected to even laptop, even television, and those things. So this is like the purpose of showing this video is like UI UX design is not only limited to the digital aspect, which most when you will go on LinkedIn or on social media or any place, you will see that this is I am a UI UX designer. People say that I am a UI UX designer and I have designed this much screens and this has been my research that has shaped up and then I have came to this point. But the point is there should be a clear boundary that what you're making, you're a digital product designer or a physical product designer, so that there are multiple aspects of it. So here we are going to cover the digital aspects of UI UX design. We'll be covering if we get time, and at the end I love to discuss on the physical aspect of the UI UX design as well. If you want, you can come up with as many ideas. I'm pretty sure that you would be having enormous ideas which you want to work on and then come up with anything, right? So the design. So talking about design, why this design is there? Like, why do we need design? Design is all about functionality. Like, what functionality you want to achieve. Yes.
Sorry to stop you.
Yeah.
One question. When we say design, that include both UI and UX, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the video which you shown us, like actually I have a confusion on like what UI and UX is. UX usually I mean user experience. So I was just thinking about UX is also included UI as well, right? Cannot be separate.
That is actually not true. So UX is whenever you talk about UX, UX is a universal thing that gets applied to even in like at n number of places. That is not only limited to mobile application. UX is a universal process which can be applied to anything. Like, even if you are making a new cycle, you are ideating on, like, you are an automobile designer and you are ideating on new design of a cycle, that will be applicable to that part as well. So UX has been derived from the design thinking process. So you must have known about user centered design and design thinking process.
Yes.
Have you heard of? So it has
Yeah.
been just derived, and then it has been paired up with different contexts. Like when you talk about UI UX design for digital products, you are only focused towards creating an application or a website, right? And you do the UX research in that manner, right?
Yeah.
When you will be working towards physical products, then you will be shaping your UX like a UX process according to that physical product, right? And that keeps on changing for different applications. But the methods will be almost similar. Just that the type of question that you are going to ask to the user, and the type of research and the type of information that you are getting from the user for the research, that will differ based on the application. That what kind of product you are eventually going to make, that will be shaped according to that.
Okay.
Is that clear now?
Yes. Still, I mean, can take one small example which tells that this is what UX is and this is what UI is. Can we differentiate that?
Yeah, see, you in a very layman's language, you can say that UX is kind of a skeleton to everything. Like, you can consider human body, like whatever UI is the outer skin which is there, and the skeleton is the UX. So it gives the structure of it gives the structure to anything, maybe an application design, or maybe that infinity cube that you just saw. So UX will mostly consist of a research part, and that will be synthesized in a way that it gets into direction that whatever type of product you want to create.
So
Right?
you in a body example, you said skeleton will be UI.
Skeleton will be UX. The
UX.
outer skin will be the UI. Like, that is a basic structure to everything which we can ideate. That is a UX is kind of a blueprint to everything which you refer to, and then you make UI based on that.
Okay. Okay.
All
Got
right.
it. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah. No worries. So that is the overall. So in design, we focus on the functionality aspect more before aesthetics. In design always talks about functionality before aesthetics. Aesthetic is definitely a non-detachable part of the design, But yes, we talk about functionality first and then we talk about the aesthetics. Now coming on to the next thing, there are four pillars of design, which is likability, functionality, usability, and accessibility. Likability refers to how you have created the product so that it is likable to people. Functionality refers to uh, like does the product that you are designing, does the application that you are designing is actually addressing the functional aspect of the problem that you are going to solve, that thing. Usability is like how easily your product is usable, like how understandable you have made the product. Let's say you have let's say you have created a mobile application. It is very good, it has very nice aesthetics, but the options or the features that are presented to the user, it is placed in a way that the user is finding it very difficult, even though it is serving the functionality aspect, but it is not serving the usability purpose, then it is of no use, because eventually the user will use it once a time, twice a time, and then eventually he will be dropping off, right? Do we all agree on that point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then comes the fourth pillar, which is accessibility. Accessible. Whenever we talk about accessibility, so uh, we talk about especially able people, like the people who are blind, the people who are they have some kind of disability. Then so the purpose is to make a design in a way that it becomes accessible to every single individual. And accessibility is not only like limited to the people who are especially able, but that is also like that also consists us as well. Like for example, I am from North India, so if I go to South Indian state, so that is an accessibility problem for me, because I know Hindi, English, but I don't know Tamil and Kannada, right? So that becomes barrier for me. Agreed? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So those kind of aspects also come into accessibility, like not only for people who are blind or especially able or like deaf or dumb. So but accessibility can be of any type. You must have you must have heard about color blindness, right? The people who are who have everything right, but they are not able to distinguish between colors, or they have this low tendency towards some particular colors. They are not able to identify that. That is also a big problem. So how we can create products in a way that it becomes easily accessible to every kind of people, that we need to think on. And when we say that, we talk about user segmentation. So I'll be talking about that in coming slides, that what does a user segmentation mean, and then how we find out the user segmentation, how it is, right? So like now is the time where n number of products are getting into market, and most of them are digital products now, not only limited to apps and all, even for the apis that is used in APIs that are used for back-end process, that is also a result of a well-thought design process. Maybe not we cannot compare it with the aesthetic sense, but it includes the design thinking process, that how we can make the it is so it is so included that even designing of algorithms are now taking use of design thinking process, that how we can improve the process, how we can make the things more efficient with the help of constantly iterating process. And then there comes the role of design process, it becomes important to know design process, whether you are a designer or whether you are a designer or a non-designer, it does not matter. You need to have that sensibility of a design, so that you get to analyze different things, because what happens generally with people, people who generally come from a technical background, so they don't think they what they try to they are just solving problems that is given to them. right? But analysis part is somewhere missing. So analysis part, which is there, that is now that is being done by the designers. Like now the industry is way more expanded as before. Before there were no much designers, only developers were there. So we used to use templates. Many of you must have heard about this Envato templates, uh, HTML and Bootstrap template, which are there, which you can buy and you can just make changes to it, and then you can create a portal or something like that. Yes. So, guys, like, please feel free to just pitch in between and use you're free to use the chat as you want, because if it is an interactive thing, then only it is going to be useful. Because otherwise, what will happen? Okay, I'll be just talking, and then there will be no interaction, and eventually you'll lose the hold of the whole thing. Right? Try to interact as much as you can. This is the recent data of last 6 7 years, like from 2012 or 2010 to 2017, how the design developer ratio has been changed over the course of time. For Atlassian, it was 1:25 in 2012, and now it has increased to 1:9. So for every 25 developers, there were one designers back then, and now it has been like increased to 1:9. Same goes for Dropbox and LinkedIn, Uber, IBM. IBM, we can see that IBM has the most big shift in terms of design awareness. So now the companies are realizing the importance of design, and like how they can improve their products based on that. So right now the boom in the design industry is happening right now in India. And now if you like now that you're about to be graduate, or some of you must be in second year, third year, or fourth year, as soon as you step into industry, you will see that there are n number of roles. Like even you will find some roles, some developer roles, which will ask you to have a basic sensibility of design or design thinking process. So that is so now that is so evident that everyone needs to know about that. And even this is an actual thing. Within the next course of 5 6 years, you will be like, even if you don't become a designer, a full-time designer, then also you will need to know about the design process. That is the current scenario of the industry. Even the best developers, best software engineers need to know about the design process, so that they could maintain the balance between the different teams. And like right now, like these are few roles which are there in the industry. These and the right now which the roles which you are seeing on the screen, these are the some of the roles which are right now present in the industry, which ranges from design assistant to UX auditor, UX writer, product designer, UX unicorn, UX tester, UX lead, principal UX designer, usability tester. There are n number of roles which are only very specific to design, and not only specific to UI/UX design only, but very specific to UX process as well. Like you know about the UX process, then you are a UX designer, and what else you can be into that UX domain. Like there is a role called a UX writer, where you are writing the copywriting the content of copywriting the content which is placed on the app. Like what content user sees, is it relatable, it is welcoming or not. So like now companies are putting stress on like improving that thing as well, not only related to just functionality and good user flow, but also the good language. The best example of this is Zomato. Do you all use Zomato? Like yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so have you
Yes, sir.
seen that notification which comes, which is so personalized that like sometimes you eventually go and buy something, right? That is very personalized. Like
And
how?
nowadays Swiggy also, I can say good
Yes,
notification.
yes, because now they have realized that this is something which is working. which is increasing their sales, right? So that becomes a very important thing in the process, like how you write that language of the application so that it becomes more welcoming and more relatable to the user.
But this is notification, so that is a part of also UI UX design.
Yeah, that is part of UX writing. That is part of UX writing. So there are people who are only focused on writing content for the application.
Okay, so content of the notification that's related to UX.
Yeah, UX writing. That is a small part of UX process, which is called as UX writing.
And when to send, how to send. What about this? This also falls under UX.
No, so that is designers design the task flow of how that will be done.
Mhm.
Rest of the things are taken care of with the backend developers and the engineers,
Okay.
how to present it, like because uh, designer cannot tell that like at what time that notification will pop up. That is very that is very intuitive and personalized for each and every customer that is around the world, right? So that is based on their preferences, their profile and all. We can just tell them that what language needs to go there, right? And how it should be presented to the user that it becomes more relatable.
Yeah.
Fetching data and all, that is the responsibility for the developers.
Yeah. I have one more question related to this slide.
Yes.
In a startup company, I mean, I think one or two designer will be there, and they will play all the roles. They will basically wear all the hats of the designer. Which in a bigger company like Google and all this, I mean, they have a whole lot of UX UI designer and designation.
Yes, yes, definitely. So actually, so here what happens is that startups cannot invest so much in detailed roles of design. Like they cannot hire so many people who have different capabilities in design. So they will try to hire some experienced person who knows all the things, right? And they can handle it because a startup is all about doing very hard work.
Yeah. So
So
after going to this, like we can play all the roles, right? Even like if we join a startup, we can play all
yes,
the
yes,
roles. It's not
definitely,
like
definitely. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So and this is not directed towards any specific kind of thing, but an overview of everything that you can have, and then you can decide that what role you are going to uh, be comfortable in, and then you can decide on at a later point of time,
okay,
because there are a set of n number of process in between that keeps on going, and then you find your comfortable place, that this is what that I'm feeling comfortable, and then you get gist of it, and then you proceed ahead with that, right? Same goes for every domain, maybe in development or any other field, right? You
okay,
find the place and which you are comfortable, and then you explore yourself, right? The same goes for design as well.
okay.
So, some of the designs that you will be able to make after the session, like these are some of the examples. You can make the example with the help of. Initially, we'll be starting with the UI design, like after UX, after completing UX part, we'll be starting with the visual design, where we'll be creating style guides, design systems, possibly design system, and then we'll be start adding interactions to our prototypes, and then the end prototype that we'll be getting will can be something like this, or the type of your idea that you want to convey. Right? These are some examples that you can go. So all this is possible with the help of that thing. Also, guys, possibly if you should I'm not sure if you all have Adobe XD installed in your system. Please let me know in the chat if you all have installed Adobe XD in your system.
Yes, sir, we have.
Yeah, yeah, then that's better. That's better because we'll be doing everything in the Adobe XD. We can go with Figma as well, but why I don't prefer Figma over XD is that so whoever have not installed, just go to Adobe XD website, and there you will be able to download it. That will not take much time. That will take hardly half an hour for completing every process. So please download it and install it maybe from the next session. Today's session is based on mostly towards the research part, and next session will be full fledged with the visual design and the visual design principles, right?
So it's a free Adobe XD is free or license?
Yeah, like it might ask you card details, but you can enter your card details into it. Like after you enter the card details, just after installing everything, just cancel the plan so that your subscription keeps on be there on the system. Because like generally Adobe XD is free. The cost that they take is for the collaboration purpose, right? So until you are not doing the collaboration, then it is not going to charge you anything. But they ask you for the card details, which you can freely. There's no harm in that.
Can you please repeat? So after entering card, what you said?
After entering card details, you will be able to download that and just install it in your system, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll be exploring some trends in the UI design as well. So we'll be making some navigation bars like this, and uh, onboarding screens. We can put in some onboarding screens like that. And also we'll be having a look at how to create Lottie animation files and exporting them as a code. So in maybe third session we are going to cover it. So yeah, so now is the time for starting. So things that you have to do is like you have already you need to install Adobe XD on your system. You have already signed up on Miro Word. So whoever have not signed up yet on the Miro Word, please do that and get yourself a notebook for this scribbling, like quick iteration thing. Then that should be there. Like you will
What
not
is
be
my
able
robot?
Miro, like the Miro board, like this
Okay.
thing, the board link which I shared you in the beginning.
Can you please reshare in the chat?
Yeah, sure. I'll just reshare it in the link.
Okay.
Got it? In the chat, I have shared the link.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So and a notebook for like scribbling, like making quick iterations on different things. Yeah, the password is hidden. Thanks, Spindan, for doing that. And so your first task, this you can do over the week, and that will be inculcated into the design assignment that I'll be giving to you at the end of the session for the week. So your initial task is to come up with problem statement that you want to build as a project. So that is the initial thing that we want to do here. Like I want you all to pick up explore the problem space. If you're not able to understand that what problems I should explore, just go outing, just go for an exploration maybe in your city and wherever you are. Just try to observe people and just try to understand people. Like maybe you can interact with them, maybe you cannot interact with them, maybe you can just talk to your friends about random things, and then you come up with some good problem statement that can actually be a potential project. Because I don't want you to get hands on something which is very mainstream and which is already present. That is not the entire, that is not the eventual part of everything, right? Because you as a designer, your thought process should be very open to new things. Because if you're now you've all come from IIT Guwahati, so it becomes important for you as well to be the innovators in every field. So it is good that you come up with real life problems that are around you, and then you make projects on that. The methods I'll be telling you what methods to use. Rest of the things, that is up to you, that how you are taking your ideas and applying the methods that I tell and make a project out of it. That will be the most interesting thing that can be seen, right? So the best thing would be come up with at least 3-4 problem statement, not necessarily 5-6 statements, but at least shortlist 3-4 problem statement that are actually real life problems which people are facing. It can be related to, maybe let me just give you an example. Like you can find some problems where, like, you can explore in the domain of uh, climatic change, which is a very common thing, which is very important and common thing, which is going on around the globe. So what you can do in the climatic change domain, what project you can build in it? Is there any solution that you can ideate on it? Some problem statement can be like education in the COVID times. What kind of tools or what kind of ideas that you can come up with? The Like, these are real life problems. These are not directed to, I want to create a business, I want to run a business, and I have to create an app for it. That is already, that you can do at any point of time, even like after sitting, you can just ideate on those kind of solutions. So that is why I am not touching those kind of ideas, right? Will it be possible for every one of us here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So try to come up with the real life problem. Then it will become more interesting for you as well, to how you're conducting the research and how you're coming up with problems, right? So this is the initial task. You can write it down, and now we'll be coming on to UX and UI. So before coming on to UX and UI, I just want to give you an idea of how UI and UX design has been evolved with the different things, and how it now whatever UI UX design we are learning, how it has started and how it has evolved. So it all started with the interaction design. So interaction design is a bigger domain in which human computer interaction falls, and in human computer interaction, UI UX design falls. So UX like UI UX design is a subset of like human computer interaction, which is SCI, and SCI is a subset of interaction design. Is that clear? Like, is there any confusion in this? Like, once you get it, then I'll be explaining you how that is there. Yes.
Yes, sir, clear.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So initially, like how it all has been started. It started with the interaction design, like exploring the interaction perspective, how we can make interactions very simpler. So it ranges from different domains. It can be related to industrial design. It can be related to transportation and different kind of design domains which are there. So whatever interaction that happens in all those domains, including the digital ones. So initially, those were explored. Like the interaction can be as simple as how you are opening the doorknob, like whether you are pressing the doorknob and then opening it, or you are just pulling it and down and then you are opening it. So what is the level of experience, and how easy it is made for the user, so that from the least effort he is able to accomplish that task, right? So all type of interaction which is present around the world, even for the biomimic interaction design, like understanding how plants interact with the environment. Like you see that climber plants are there, like creepers are there who which climb on like wooden stick or something, right? So how you can take into consideration those ideas, and then you can make some project out of it, right? So this is a very bigger domain that only deals with the interactions which go on across the different bigger domain, right? Now, in that particular interaction design domain, what we have chosen human computer interaction. Key, like, if we are talking about interaction, then what is the thing that is falling under digital interaction, which is specifically for computers and computational systems, right? So that is related to that is called as human computer interaction, right? So in this, you get to know about design, and you get to know about different computer systems which are there, and you get to know about the different devices for which you are going to design. So HCI is not only related to computers and mobiles. It is also extended to voice user interfaces. An example of voice user interfaces, can anyone give?
Alexa.
Amazon Alexa.
Yeah, right, very rightly said. Alexa is the most obvious example of voice user interface. Alexa is there, Google Home is there, or maybe IoT devices. All the IoT devices which are there all fall under the human computer interaction, like HCI space, right? So HCI space deals with all the different computational systems and how we can create, like how we can explore the interaction perspective of those systems. And into that there is an aspect of screen-based interfaces which is there in the laptops, computers, tablets, mobile screens, digital watches, smart TVs, all those devices which contains specifically screens. So for that thing, this UI UX finally arrives, like how you can create solutions for digital screens which can be presented on digital screens, like shortlisting it down to that simpler level, right? Now that is clear, everything. So
Yes.
first comes the interaction design, then comes the HCI, and then UI UX comes, right? And then we need to understand that what is UX and what is UI. So whenever we talk about, here we are mostly talking about the digital experiences that people can have, and we are talking UX and UI in terms of that digital experience, right? So UX is focused on the overall experience with the product and the service, how you are interacting with the product, and how easily it is, how affordable it is. So there are three levels of design. So if you want to write it down, you can write it. So there are three levels of design, which is visceral, behavioral, and affordable. No, reflective. So visceral, behavioral, and reflective aspect of design. These are the three levels of design, which is there. So visceral deals with how easily you are getting the idea of product, how easily, like how affordable, how easily you are able to use the product. That is called as visceral level of the product, visceral level of the design. Second comes the behavioral. So how the product, how you are behaving with the product, and how the product is behaving with you. Like in digital aspect, we'll talk about how the digital interface is interacting with you, and how you are interacting with the digital interface. That will be the that will be the behavioral aspect of behavioral level of design. And third is reflective, like whatever interface you are talking about, does that match to your taste or not? like uh, here comes the point that making for specific people, making for target audience, this deals with that. Like if I am using an app, has it been made according to my likabilities and likabilities and taste or not? If that is not, then eventually I'm going to drop it, and I'm using some other app which is accomplishing that same thing, right? So have you written it down? Like if possible, if you want to write, you can, then only you can write. Otherwise, it's okay. So that is there. So is that clear? Well, what are the levels of design?
Sir, repeat the three terms again, sir. Just
Yeah,
one more time.
visceral, behavioral, and reflective,
Okay, sir.
right? Then we come to the UX and UI. As we say that UX is focused on simplifying the experience. In a very layman's language, we will try to understand that what UX is. It is only focused on simplifying the experience. Is there any experience that is complex, and there is an opportunity to simplify it more? That we discuss on here. And what is the intervention that we can do to improve that? that is UX, right? And like I said in the starting, like when Sanjeev asked that question about the UX, like whether it is only for digital experiences or it is more than that. So UX is more than that, but here we are learning in the digital perspective, right? Talking about UI is focused on the aesthetics of the product, aesthetics of the digital product, where we actually interact and visually we see that. So it is more in terms of the likability and likability and reflective perspective of the design, right? UX is functional thing and UI is visceral. Like UI is a reflective and affordable terms of the design, right? Any confusion till here? Like, do you want me to stop and discuss something and then we can go ahead, or we are good to go? Sorry. So now coming on to the user-centered design and design thinking. So whenever we talk about UI UX design, we don't only talk about screens and interfaces. First, we talk about user-centered design and what is design thinking process. So whenever I talk about user-centered design, it deals with creating something which puts the needs and behaviors, values, problems, and context of the said problem from the people, so that we could address the needs and requirement of the people. We could make solution based on how they behave with certain things, what are the values that they possess, and what are the pain points that they are having, that they are experiencing, right? And design thinking is a framework for accomplishing that, right? So first we learn about design thinking, and then we see that how design thinking is there for user-centered design process. Design thinking is a universal thing, while you and design thinking and user-centered design both are universal things. Just that, like, it shapes up according to the use cases that we follow. So the purpose of putting this particular image here is to get you an idea that what are the things that we consider in the user-centered design process. Like, we always keep the user in mind. So when I used to work for Amazon I used to work for Amazon for 3 years, from 2017 to 2020. And there was when there was a meeting, and there was a meeting that kept on happening. So in that meeting, there was even if the room is full, there would be a chair kept empty. So why that chair kept when that chair was kept empty? Because we consider that is a user, that is a customer, our customer, for which we are making the experience better, right? So that was a a specific, like, we always keep the customer or the user in mind before making our solutions on, because eventually this is something that we are not making for ourselves, right? Whatever we are doing, that we are making for people, it is to the people, for the people, right? And we should make the design in that way only.
As a layman perspective, how we can say what is design thinking?
So design thinking is a way, in a layman thing, we can say that design thinking is a way of doing things, like how the things should be, right? We can say that, how things should be. Like, it is a way of it is a way of idealizing that how the thing should be there, right?
Then how it will be different than the normal designer is like to things? Can we
Okay.
take an example where we can differentiate? Uh, this is what fitment for design thinking.
Sorry, come again.
Can we take one example of design thinking where we can say this is design thinking different than the normal the way we design?
Yes, definitely. So consider any object around you. Let's say, let's take an example of water bottle, right? So there are some problems that you're facing with the water bottle, that the bottle is designed in a way that it is not very much usable for you, right? So what you will do? So what talking about like a normal designer who does not know anything about design thinking. Let's learn, let's consider from that perspective, right? Let's consider from that perspective that we are talking about any designer who does not know about design thinking. For him, that bottle would be a normal bottle only, right? He'll say
Okay.
that there is nothing wrong with it. If there is some problem, then he will, maybe he can think that it is problem with myself only, that it is happening with me, right? So might be I am the only one who is experiencing that, not everyone. But the person who knows about design thinking, he will not think like that. He will, if he faces a problem, then he will find out that whether I am the only one or there are several other people as well who are facing the same problem, right? So that will be the phase of exploring, like finding out what is the problem space, whether I am the only one who is facing the problem, or someone else also is there. Then you explore that space and you make out insights that I'm not the only one. There are a few other people other way, other people as well who are facing the same problem, right? So based on that, you will define that this is the problem. Once you explore that, then you will define the problem, that this is the problem and it needs to be addressed, right? And then you make solution, like you make improved solutions on that. You make a new bottle design out for that based on that prompt. You test it with user, like now it is better or not. If it is better, then that is the solution that you achieved. Like you did usability testing on people after creating the prototype of the bottle. You did a usability testing on the people, right?
Okay.
And then you found out key, yes, this is the solution that is actually working, and like it is better than the previous one. And if it is not there, then you will take the feedback again, and then you will rework on it again, so till you find the best solution,
Okay.
right? So that is the basic difference between how uh, a non and design thinking designer and a designer with design thinking ability will differentiate between two things.
So is the design thinking has different set of process or framework template, or
So
just a or just a concept?
it is a concept. It is not. It cannot be like, it is totally practical. So it is not just a concept which is there. So you can actually you can apply design thinking at any place you can think of. Just
Okay.
think of anything, you will be able to apply that design thinking process. It is very novel, and design thinking is so relevant nowadays that cities are being planned according to like using design thinking. Like the city of Barcelona.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, just read about that design thinking. There is a concept of system design, which has been taken, which has been taken along with design thinking, and the whole city has been designed according to that. Barcelona is a very well designed city. Similarly, it
I,
is. Sorry.
yeah. 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 Please go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you were saying something.
Yes. So you gave example of Barcelona. Same way, actually, I belongs to Raul Clarissa. So
Mhm.
here also they are they're doing a lot of changes because we are hosting uh, hockey
Mhm.
World
Mhm.
Cup hockey. So the lot of change on UI. If I tell in terms of UI UX in
Mhm.
entire city.
Mhm.
So that is also like it's a part of design thinking when they and the person or the group who are planning to change everything for the city.
Yes,
Are
yes, yes.
they okay?
So, like I'm saying, design thinking is not only limited to like, that is a universal framework for everything. Like if whenever you are like improving anything, design thinking can be a very good thing for you. It can be
Okay.
improvement of anything. It can be improvement of machinery. It can be improvement of policies as well. like Netherlands have been designing some policies, like public policies according to design thinking. That is so like that is a very like different thing to ideate on, but yes, they are doing it. They have done it, and they have been using it for quite some years. Like now, it has been 7 8 years that they have been constantly using that design thinking process, and everything is and the most interesting part is everything is working very nice for them, because like they have not now got structure of how to improve things, right? Earlier that was a random thing, like what I don't know what needs to be done to improve that, but now they have got the framework, and then they are applying it, and they are constantly getting improved results through the iterative process, right? So that is there. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no worries. So this is the like whatever design thinking process I was talking about. This is the 5-step design thinking process, which is there, which you can call as a functional like a framework for doing all the design. Will be going according to this only. We'll be empathizing, defining, ideating, prototyping, and testing. Finally, everything that we are going to do in these 4 sessions, we'll be doing according to that only. So empathize phase deals like there are 5 steps of design thinking process: empathize, define, idea, prototype, and test. In empathize, it deals with understanding of the user, like what user is going through, putting yourself in customer shoes, and then ideating on like understanding the experiences of the user, understanding the problem space of the user, and then coming up with the possible insights that are related to it, right? So empathizing deals only with understanding of the user, right? Defining deals with, now that you have understood the user, now there needs to like that problem needs to be jotted down. You need to define what is the actual problem, right? And here what is the interesting thing that happens? Sometimes the hypothesis that you started with, suppose that like I have told you to come up with this thing. Okay, you come up with 4 5 problem statements, right? 4 5 problem statements I have told you to come up with, and I have told you to okay come up with problem statements. So it will happen with you, and it is a good thing. Okay, you start with some hypothesis that this is the problem space that I am looking at, and when you understand, when you interview different people, when you understand different people, then what you will eventually found, you might found that it is entirely different thing, like that what you were thinking is entirely different from what exactly the situation is, what exactly the reality is, right? So you can understand that only with the help of empathizing with the user, understanding the user, like what the actual problem is, right? And then you come to defining all those problems, that this is the different definition that I have done, right? Like defining what is the actual problem, and then after that, in third phase, what you'll do, you'll based on that definition of problem statement, you will ideate on solution, different solutions. You can do with the help of brainstorming, game storming is the process, mind mapping is there, card sorting is there, different processes are there, many different methods are there. So we'll be covering that. We'll be doing brainstorming and mind mapping, possibly, and yeah, we'll be doing brainstorming and mapping in the ideation phase. And based on the outcomes of that thing, we'll be creating a prototype. So here, since you are dealing with digital interfaces, you will be creating prototype of mobile screens and all, right? And once you create that mobile screens and mockups for it, wireframes of it, then you will test it out with the users, like whether that is actually working or not. And based on the feedback, you might go to prototype phase again, you might go to ideate phase again, you might go to define phase again, or you might go to empathize as well. So that based on the feedbacks, so suppose that you have done everything very well, but in the testing phase you have found out with the user that like you have not covered some point which was very genuine, and like you have left in the research part only. Then you need to go back to the research part and include that point in the research, and then you have to define the problem and then include that in the solution, and then you have to test it out. Suppose sometimes it can happen that like you have done research very well, but you have not defined the problem statement very well, so you might go to problem statement again and then you have to define it again, right? Same goes for ideation, prototyping, and testing based on the feedback that you're getting. Yes, is that clear to everyone? What is the like how design thinking framework works?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we have thought on the design thinking process. We need to understand that like I'll just take a stop here and like I'll tell you, you might feel that this is a completely theoretical aspect that we are covering, but like UX part is actually a research based part like which comprises of 60-40 ratio. Like 60% of your project will be mostly UX design, yeah, where you will be mostly researching and finding out the actual problems which are there. Because once you understood that problem space very well, then it would take no time for you to make the visuals of it, the layout of it. So that is why it might take a long, and don't get intimidated by so much of don't be intimidated by so much of a theoretical aspect which is coming on. There's just a once you learn this, this will be there for you. This will be there with you for all the time. Whenever now, from now on, whenever you will be thinking of any problem statement, you will be thinking of any idea to work upon, you will definitely give it a try. Right. So talking about the talking about the UX perspective. So what is the thing that comprises of UX? So UX designers, first thing that is very obvious, UX designers need to fulfill needs of user. That the solution should address the problem that is faced by the user while meeting business goals. So whenever you are creating an application, so your what is your eventual goal? Your eventual goal is to make that in a form of a product that sells, right? Am I wrong? Yeah.
No, sir.
So eventually your goal is to make after this graduation thing, you will be aligned to any company or maybe you will be doing your own startup. So what is your ultimate aim? That you will be selling any product, right? And when you're selling any product, so it should have a good like it should address some user's problem, right? And along with the third point which is there, it is along with the pushing technology enough to innovate. Like you will take user needs, you will take business goals, and you will mix it up with the technical constraint what is possible with the help of technology, and then you will come up with the best UX that is possible for your solution, right? So UX comprises of three elements, which is user needs, business goals, and technical constraints, right? So in user need, what we are going to cover will be understanding user need with the help of interviews and surveys. Affinity mapping will be doing, and we'll be understanding the business goals with the help of market research or competitor analysis. And technical constraints like we will not be able to cover since this is a completely design thing. At the end of the session, like I'll tell you how if what are the technical aspect of it, how we can like hand it over to the developers, and how we can like shift this design into development, right? So this is the interrelation between UI and UX. Just given it in the example of a book and reader perspective, like UI, like just consider UI how the user interface and user experience is interconnected to each other. This is a small example to represent it. So you can take a book as a UI and the index or table of content as a UX, right? So just consider a book which does not have an index of content, right? And you need to find a storybook, and you need to find a story. Will you be able to do that? Will you be able to find that story easily?
No, sir.
Yeah, because you don't know at which place the story is there. But if you put the index of contents, so you will just go to the page number, you will see what page number is there on which the story is, and then you will be able to find out like where the story is. That is what UX does for the UI. It makes everything very accessible and reachable to everything, right? So this is a small example of interrelation between the user interface and the user experience. So I've just covered it along with design thinking. So I'll be not taking. So I'll just give you an idea that like user centered design is a derivative of design thinking process, which is a iterative process. Like design thinking is an iterative process that we have just discussed on, right? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is the iterative process that we just discussed, and that this is derived from the design thinking process. So so first thing which is there in user centered design, that we take user always into consideration, right? And we perform the design process with the help of different tools and methodologies, right? And then we go and we understand the user, right? So, and Sam, why this is an iterative process? Because we evaluate, so we first understand the context of use, specify user requirement, design solution, evaluate against requirement. If you closely look at this diagram, you will find that it is exactly like design thinking framework. Yeah, is it different or like are you finding it the same?
Yeah, it is same.
It is same, just that, and the language has been changed, right? But we have just discussed on this thing, like it is an iterative process. Like based on the evaluation and the feedback of the user, you can go to design solution, you can go to specifying user requirements, and you might go to understanding context of use, like based on what feedback you have got, right? And along with this, so what happens now? User-centered design, we don't like actually what happens at the company side, what happens at the organization side. So you are not the only person in the company who is working, right? There will be engineers, researchers, marketers and stakeholders for which you will be designing a product on, right? So everyone will have their own set of thinking, their own set of thought process that they will be putting in front of you, and you will have to consider, because you as a designer will never like it can be a possibility that you are very well aware of the things around you, you are very efficient in knowing things from different domains, but mostly this will not be the case, and you will be knowing new things from engineers, researchers, marketers, stakeholders, apart from your design knowledge or your knowledge base, right? And when you know that, and when you get to know about that, you know the feasibility of the design, you know like how feasible your design can be, right? So engineer will tell you that what is technically possible, right? researcher will tell you that Researcher will tell you that what the user wants, what is the problem that user is facing. Marketer will tell you that what is working in the market, right? According to the user need, what is working in the market, and stakeholder will be the person who will be pushing your design to the larger audience, right? It happens like that, right? Yes,
Yes.
no? Yeah. Whenever you do the user-centered design process, you consider all these constraints in mind. You take feedback from everyone, and then you build the solution, so that you don't consider your thought process only as a designer or a design researcher, but you consider the aspects of every other people in the company as well, so that you fall on the same page, and you make sure that whatever you are designing, that is apt, right? And then it should be in a way that you don't have to come back and then design everything over again, right? So when your design team brings the user into every stage of the design process, you invest your effort and other resources into a powerful way of finding out that what works well and what does not and why. So when you take feedback from everyone, you will be able to understand that what is working and what is not, right? Uh, yeah. So let's take a break of 10 minutes and maybe 15 minutes, and we'll meet back at 12:15. And you can take a little rest, and then after we come back, then we'll be starting the UX design process. Right? We'll be having a look at the interview, how to conduct the interviews, and we'll be using Miro board on for that. Right?
So this will be part of like research, right?
Yeah, this will be the part of research that we'll be doing.
So
Right?
we'll back by.
We'll be back by 12:15.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So try to be on everyone. Please try to be on time so that we could cover as much as we can. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be here only if someone wants to discuss anything, they can stay back here, or rest of the people, if you want to just go back and come, you can do that. So please can remember that this is different link which is there. So make sure that you are joining on the this link only, that not the other link which we joined back in the starting. So we'll meet back at 12:15. Rest of the things, like if anyone wants to discuss anything, then they can. It's totally.
Aditya, if you don't mind, if I take 5 minutes,
Sorry.
can I take you 5 minutes?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Aditya, usually in real world, what are the maximum tools they are using for designing? Like Figma, you told, right? Then Micro is also being used.
Miro
Micro.
is only for like research purposes, because it is easy. It is very easy to gather large data into one place. So, and it is a very good collaborating tool. So that's why Miro is used. But now FigJam is taking places a little bit, but not like it is not so efficient like Miro is. So still Miro has a edge over FigJam.
So like Miro and this Adobe XD and Figma, they are two separate. These are two separate purpose.
Yeah, like Miro is mostly used for the research purposes. Like I mainly use for research purposes, and the collaboration on research for sorry, for prototyping, for designing, layouting, and prototyping. I use mostly Adobe XD. I'm comfortable in Figma as well, but I don't find Figma that much useful as compared to Adobe XD.
So if we use Adobe XD, so there itself like um, low fidelity, high fidelity, everything we can
Everything
track
you will
there.
be able to make. Yeah.
So just learning Adobe XD should be fine, right?
Yes, yes, and even if you want to, if you even if you want to learn Figma after that, that will be very quick. Like if you learn at Adobe XD very well, it would be like 3 4 days for you. It will take for you to learn Figma. Like
Okay.
whatever features are there in Figma, it is still less than Adobe XD.
Okay.
Especially considering about the animation part. Like animation is like nothing right now is there which is comparable to Adobe XD.
Okay. So
But
in
yeah,
Adobe, you are saying animation is also there.
yeah, animation, like you can build customized animations. Like in Figma there's a the smart animate is the only thing that is interesting. Apart from that, there is absolutely nothing. Like there you will find very huge problem in working with component states. So that is
Yes.
very easy to do in Adobe XD. You can make and nested components so up to very complex level. Like you can use single page to create like prototype for 6 7 screens. That is
Okay.
so efficient. But same thing you will not be able to do in Figma because that efficiency is not there still. The only reason why Figma is very popular in industry is due to the collaboration that it gives.
Okay. What about Adobe XD? That does
Adobe
not.
also has collaboration, but it is a limited thing. Like since
Okay.
Figma, you can like as a student you can sign up for Figma as a free. Like they give out a free subscription to students, right? But then also like if I consider only the collaboration purpose, then also I don't find much sense on using Figma. Like maybe many of you might disagree with me on this point. But yeah, that is my personal opinion. I will not prefer Figma over XD
Okay.
because
And
that functionality is already present in XD, just that it is not very efficient as Figma has the collaboration part. But yeah, rest of the things, everything is better in XD, better as compared
yeah,
to Figma.
I have asked because I have not started with any tool, so I thought
Mhm.
one tool which can continue for longer time.
So you can continue with both. Like you can continue with both. Along with that, you will eventually you will be knowing some other tools as well for prototyping. Like even though the prototyping is very good in Adobe XD, then also there is a certain limitation. Like you cannot do everything in that because that is a like an like that is a screen design tool actually, right? With a sense of some animation contents in it, right?
Right now, I'm using our Paint itself. So, to come up with the idea. So, Paint is
Which
difficult, but I think
which one? Which one?
Microsoft Paint.
Okay, okay, yeah. So,
Instead of
so
putting,
instead of using Paint, you can use Miro. You can use Miro. There are
my
enough functionalities present there. If you want to make low fidelity wireframing, that you can easily make in that.
okay.
That is very easy to make.
I don't know. I'm not able to log into Miro. I just registered and I gave same password.
Hmm.
Not picking up. And I will try later. And one more question. Let's say we have created our design. So this design, I think it goes to front end developer, right?
Yes, yes.
Code it. So as a designer, you should know coding as well.
It will be an added advantage, but it is not a necessary thing to know.
Okay. So how it actually it's work? Like let's say I have created my design in Adobe or something. Let's say for example there is a button.
Hmm.
So when you click button, it should navigate to next page or
Hmm.
it should move to the some other functionality. So
I'll just show you. I'll just show you how it works.
okay.
Let me just open it VXT. Visible?
Yes.
Yeah. So this was a like design for a website that I for a startup that I did.
Okay. So do you have to sit with this developer also or no?
Yeah, sometimes you have to sink in like the point where they don't understand what you are saying, then you have to sync with them
Okay.
because sharing the design sets is not the sufficient thing that can be done. You have to interact with them. Suppose that this is the screen that I've made, right?
Hmm.
So as a prototype, it would look something like this. See, this is the actual website design that I did, right? So there was like more improved version of this as well. Like this is what a very basic website that I did. Now if I go to share and you are seeing this link
Yes.
and see view setting is in development, right?
Mhm.
And downloadable assets. So if I click on this, see this, it will be opening up. Visible?
Yes.
Now see, so here is the development specifications which are there. There are assets which you can download directly as a SVG. There are color specifications, right? Character styles which are there, right?
Okay.
And even the interactions which are there. Like if you click on interactions, then you will find the codes as well, like, CSS codes for that. Like see, uh, See, the CSS is already present here. So if you like, since I have not added much interactions here, so you will not be able to directly find that out, but you will find the exact CSS for that as well. The font family, see, font family, font weight, font size, color. This is the CSS that you put in CSS files, right?
Okay.
So you can directly copy it from here and then you can put it. I'll show you some
Okay.
more example for it. I'm not
So
sure.
let's say, for example, when you click on any button, let's say for example, about us.
Hmm.
So a screen should come and the content will pop
Hmm.
up, whatever about that. So
Hmm.
developer, what they will give content and they will write. And let's say they said that the content should come full screen or should come in
Hmm.
right, left. So these all the designer which should be
Huh.
taken. Right?
That is the role of designer to specify all those things, because when once you share the developer link to them,
Hmm.
like let's say I've been working on this design for quite a while, so just have a look at it. So right now it is completely interactive. Like if you click on the design, something will happen. So just have a look at it. So there will be interactions are there,
Mhm.
and when you click on this interactions, um, okay, so interactions. Wait, just um, see if you click on this, so you will find out the like CSS. So even if you want to copy the content, that you will be able to copy. Otherwise, if you want to like copy CSS code, it is just like shown here only, based on the based on the this what thing. Here this CSS will be shown just like that, and you can just copy it and paste it in CSS, and then everything will be working as it is.
Okay.
But so from here, so whenever you share the design to the developer, you make sure you are sharing in development link, so he or she can find everything which is there.
Okay.
Hmm?
Thanks, Adit. I will be joining in 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Hello.
Yeah.
So recently I got to know that one can design voice user interfaces in Adobe XD also. So are you going to teach that part also?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, that's it. And also about the micro interaction part, I guess initially you showed a slide about that. So
Mhm.
those things we will be doing in XD or After Effects?
So, After Effects would be a little very vast thing to cover in this shorter time. So, I'll be mostly teaching you how to do in XD. So, if possible, possibly I'll try to cover that in After Effects, how to do that. So, some basics of it, at least so that you can get an idea of how to do it, and then you can take it from there.
Yeah,
But
like in many Behance projects we see like cool animations coming from this side to that side, like those things. I don't know whether those things are possible in XD or not, but I heard that those are possible in After Effects. So just the basics would be great if we can get to learn those.
yeah, sure, sure. I'll fully try to cover that. Then maybe we can require like an extra session for that. If that is possible, so definitely I'll arrange it and then we'll tell you. Because there are many things that I want to tell you, but like the time constraints is also there, no? Which is there.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, I'll try to cover it like as much as I can. So microinteractions is already covered in the course. Like not very sure of the After Effects thing, but I have already thought of covering the Lottie file animation thing, which is there, and along with that, like possibly I'll cover that thing as well, the UI animation part.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, I guess I missed it. When is the next session then? uh,
Sorry, sorry.
when is the next session then?
Next session will be on next Sunday. Next Sunday on the same time, 9 to 12.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, thank
That
you.
will be 9 to so since today was 15th August, and then I had some like something to look after, so that's why I shifted it to 10:30.
Okay, no issues, no issues.
Should we resume the class, or like still some people are left? I think 14, 17 people were there.
Okay, resume.
Yeah, yeah. So we have got so next time comes is designing for human behavior. Like how does behavior and psychology affects the design product, like design of the outcome that we are going to design. So every human is born with a specific there are n number of people in the world, right, and when we say n number of people are there, so each one of them has some personality traits which is there. They behave certain way, they talk to people certain way, they have different interaction patterns with the things that they interact with, right? So these are actually called archetypes. These are called archetypes of people, archetypes, or simply saying that it is a personality, kind of personality, which is called as archetypes. So these are inborn tendencies. Like no one tells anyone to be shy or to be outgoing, right? It is a human tendency that people are brought up in that way. Some people are very outgoing, some people are very interactive, and some people are very shy. But like some people are very creative, some people are very nice managing people, right? So these are actually different archetypes, and they and due to this point, due to this effect, the work that they do, the things that they interact with, the things that they do does also have an effect of it, right? So suppose like I'll just give you an example that there are two people. One of them is very happy person, and other person is very sad or very angry kind of person. So do you think that it will affect like the way that they interact with any product or any application, that will be affected? Yeah. What are your thoughts on it? Like, do you think that it will be affected or not?
Yes, it will be affected.
Yeah, because the happy person can can like maybe if a process is taking 10 seconds, so maybe a happy person can wait for it maybe 15 seconds also. But for the person who is very extravagant and he's not going to wait for it, he will be furious in 5 seconds only, right? So how we can make the products in a way that it caters to the human behavior and psychology, right? So how we can do so that we can only do with the help of understanding users, right? Okay, what type of users are we are making for, and this is called as user segmentation. So whenever you think of user segmentation, you think of specific kind of people for which you are designing your app for. It is a rule of thumb that you cannot design for each and every individual in the world, right? Do you all agree to that point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you need to find that user segmentation that you're focusing on, right? So yesterday only, like everything is a new learning. Yesterday only I got to know that there is a startup based in Bombay, who is producing a stationery specifically for left-handed people only. Like that much precise user segmentation is that ki, I am producing specifically. I'm not producing any products, product line or anything. I'm just using. I'm just producing stationery for them, and they are producing compass. They are producing different stationary items. They are different geometric construction tools for them, for left-handed people, so that I find it very easy for them. And how it started, like the person who started, his son faced a very big issue in using the stationary items, and he considered that it is meant for right-handed people. So he found out, he did his market research and everything, and then he started his own line, which focuses on only creation of stationery products for people. So that much amount of user segmentation needs to be thought on before going on to, and that you can find out with the help of archetypes as well, personality types as well, right? So if you're making for a set of women, you can come up with different research. You can, if you're making with only boys, you can come up with different research, and if you're making with co-ed kind of thing, um, like boys and girls mix, you can come up with different research insights, right? And once you do that, you will come up with different research insights, and that will be synthesized to form different products, products, and identifying different interaction patterns and different things in it, right? So in that way, this behavioral thing plays a very important role in this, right? So if you want to know about this, you can go to this link. You can just click a snapshot of this link, and you can go to this link and just read more about the psychology of design principles, how it is inculcated in that. So now we are starting with the design UX design process, in which you will be looking at what's the 6D UX process. So 6D UX process also includes the development part, which will be skipping. We will not be covering the development part and the drive part. So the 6D UX process consists of discovering, define, design, develop, deploy, and drive. So these are the 6D UX process which is taken into consideration, for which discovery phase includes understanding the use, understanding the people problems. What are the goals of people? What are the problems that are faced by people? And we gather the requirement. Now in definition phase, what we do the brainstorming, user profiling, storyboarding, persona creation, so that we could define that what kind of people we are designing for, what are the actual problems which we are designing for, and how do we ideate solutions on it, right? When it comes to design process, so we in this, that is related to wireframing, prototyping, functional design, design concepts, and visual design. Development, we are not going to cover development, but in development we are going to create style guides, and we'll be looking at UI specification, which is iOS and Android guidelines for UI design, that we'll be looking at. And when we talk about deployment, so that will include testing, user testing, and evaluation, that we will be covering. So this is a standard process that is followed in the industry, which is there, and it includes every required aspect of the design which is there in the industrial perspective, right? So of these 6 steps, we have this four major things that we are going to mainly focus on. Apart from one or two more topics, which is there in the development drive part, which is the designing of setting up the style guides and UI specification for the UI design that we are going to make as a product, and then going ahead with discover, define, design, and deliver, right? So till 60, everything is clear. Everything is clear to everyone.
Yes. One question.
Yes.
During this whole product development uh, design UX, people will be there, will be designing it. So will the development team, either it's the back end or the front end team, they wait for the design team, or this both go on parallel process, or is there a way both can be run parallelly?
So mostly that like since there are and there are different domains that people keep on working, so it might be a parallel thing. It might be a different thing because like right
Parallelly
now.
how parallelly how both developer and design can work to save time?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you with the actual thing that is happening right now.
Okay.
So I'm working for I'm working as a UX researcher at Rapido. So at Rapido, I sometimes work for captain side. I work sometimes for the user side as well,
Mhm.
like the customer side as well as the captain side who take up ride orders, right? So right now I'm working on order accept screens, how to improve the order accept screen for the captains. So how that is going, we perform we like the development is already going on for the backend thing, APIs and all that has been already ideated on, and they are working on it. Now what happens, the front end developers they keep aligned to the designers what they are doing, and there is a live document on Miro serves is a very nice thing. So whatever we do as a research, we keep on putting that as a insights there, and they keep on referring to that whenever they are designing the screen for them. So it goes parallel and parallel, but yeah, there is some lag. Like designers always go first, and then developers go. It can go up to parallel, but not exactly parallel. Like they have to wait for some time until like we finalize all the insights and usability test inside that this is something that you need to work on. Otherwise, like there would be drastic difference between the outcomes of both the teams, right?
Okay. So it is something like that. Let's say both entire team has been discussed how the functionality, how the navigation will work, and then final touch or whatever testing is pending from UI UX people and developer. They can start on writing the API and just
Yeah,
integration will be there.
yeah,
Once
yeah,
it's done.
yeah. The front end implementation takes like might take a little lag, but like the backend developers keep on working in that manner, because like that is a bigger architecture which is present, right? Like that is not a specific thing which is if they are not going to work on this thing, they will work on some different thing. That is so big. But like if we talk about the parallel working, then there is a small lag between design team and the development team, but like they can work alongside that. It does not require much waiting as compared to what we generally think.
Okay.
So now before starting with the interview, so so first, like now before starting with the interview, first this is a very critical thing that you need to understand about the design research, which is called as first principle thinking, which is first principle thinking. So first principle thinking is understanding about about the problem space first, and then ideating solution based on it. So the question that you're seeing on the screen is that is some question that you try to explore in the first principle thinking. So in layman's language, in very simple language, I'll tell you that first, like if you are given 1 hour to think of any solution, and you have given a problem statement, then you spend most of the time in understanding a problem rather than just ideating solutions over it. First, if you understand the problem very well, then half of the problem is already solved, right? So, so how you can go about, like let's say it can be said that let's say you have got 1 hour to work on any solution. So you spend 50 to 55 minutes on just ideate, like just understanding why the problem is happening, and understanding different aspect, every aspect which can be related to it. You are understanding that, and after you have understood all the points, then you come up with a solution. So how does it become helpful for you, so that whenever you do with the first principle thinking, that's called as first principle thinking. Like you can go and search for it on the internet as well. This was given by Aristotle, and like Albert Einstein, they also kept on like working with this thing, and this is very true for the design as well. And the best application of this first principle thinking is the place where you are focused on improving the flows of the different process. Let's say you you have a small process for adding money into your wallet, right? Maybe Amazon Pay or maybe Paytm wallet or maybe Phone Pay wallet. You go to you go with a specific process, right? You go with a specific process like uh, you open the app, you do something, then you go to something, and then you open Pay, then you add click on add to money, and then you do something and you complete the process, right? Right. So there is a process allotted to it, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, so first, if you think on the lines of first principle thinking, so there is a scope, there is a still scope to improve that flow, right? And how you can do that? So until you don't challenge your own assumptions and your own mental models, then you will not be able to like come up with the possible things, right? Like if you're not understanding the problems with like why I'm doing like that only, is there some other way? Like I'm following that process and I'm adding the money, that is sufficient for me. But when I'll challenge myself that why I'm adding that thing like money in that way only, and why I'm not doing the other way around. So when you challenge your own assumptions and then you come up with analysis of things, then you find new ways to do different things, right? Then you find new ways to do
Yes,
new
sir.
things, and you support. And when you challenge your own assumptions, then you try to support it with evidences, like is there something which already exists which is into this line. And when you start finding those like when you start challenging your own assumption and you start finding evidences to support that, then your thinking completely changes, and then you explore different ways of finding new solutions, right? And when you do that, then you are more likely to come up with more unique solutions and more unique ideations on different problem spaces.
Is there a way we can quantify all this as well?
Sorry.
Is there a way where we can contradict in quantification manner?
So see, like this is a very like this does not have any particular structure. There are just five why method. Like if you have heard of
Okay.
it, five
Yeah,
why
fine.
method. Like
Yes.
five why method is the way of doing this, and like these questions are there, like which you are seeing on the screen, like clarifying your thinking and explaining the origins of your ideas, challenging assumptions, looking for evidence, considering alternative perspectives, examining consequences, and questioning the original questions, right? So these are the major like these are only the like the structure to the thinking. Like it is a very uh, explorative kind of approach where you
Okay.
where you explore, where you are only focused on exploring different things, right? And then you come up with the thing, right? So whenever you are starting with the research, so I'll just switch on the next slide. So whenever you are starting with the research, your aim should be first to understand the problem very well without jumping onto solutions. So as an engineers, so like please tell me how many of you are, like all of you are engineers or you come from design background as well? So does anyone of you come with design background as well?
I'm a design student at IIT Guwahati right
Okay,
now.
okay. So, so what happens with generally for what happens with engineers? So it is not like it is not the case with designers. What happens with especially engineers, that they start with a solution and then they reverse engineer everything. Do you all agree to it? We think of a problem and then we think of a solution and then we start doing research for it, and then we shape our things according to that.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time it happens. So that is why we think of we think of doing first principle thinking for the problem space, because we should challenge that thing, because coming onto solutions is a very quickest thing that you can do. But you will skip the ways of doing. But when you are directly ideating solutions, you are skipping the way that comes in between. You are skipping the explorative ways that might be a possibility, which might be a huge possibility towards design innovation, right? So that is there. So that's why we do that that thing. Okay, we challenge our own assumptions. We find new ways to get into new solutions, and then we come up with new ideations and process, right? That can be that can be an inspiration from anything, right? Anyways, so let's come to user research. So the type of user research that we are looking at is first is user interviews and surveys that we are going to do, and after that we'll be doing affinity mapping. After that we'll be doing personas, and then personas and story like user scenarios. Post that we'll be doing customer journey maps, and we'll be doing mind maps. So might not be like we might be uh, we might be leaving one or two topics for today. Let's as 1 hour is left, but yeah, most of the things we will be able to cover. So so why do we conduct user research? Why do we conduct? So whenever we start with the UI UX design process, we'll always start with the UX process. So whenever we start with the UX process, we start with user research, where we are going to understand our users, and that is the first phase of design thinking process. Which is, what is the first step of design thinking process?
Understand.
Yeah, empathizing with the user, right? So why we are conducting? Because as an individual, it's a human tendency that we draw conclusion from our personal insights and beliefs, our own experiences. कि हमें लगता है कि whatever is happening with us, that is the same for everyone. Is it true? Sometimes it can, I cannot say for every time it happens, but for sometimes it happens for every one of us. It might happen for with every one of us,
Yeah, we take
right?
it perception.
Sorry.
Yeah, we take perception.
Yeah, we take perceptions because and because we take perceptions, so we are more biased towards the research. We will be more biased towards the solution that we will be ideating on, right? And that is not actually required. So if you are making for the larger audience, you are supposed to take insight from larger audience. It may be in the form of survey, it may be in the form of questionnaires or interviews. That is totally up to you that how you want to do that. Because until you are not that person, until you don't interact with that person, maybe it's a huge possibility that the same thing is happening with you and the other person, but the way that is happening, that might be different.
And
Yeah.
research is a costly process. So a few startup companies, they might not have time and cost as well. So I mean, practically, how to achieve this?
So in the case where companies do not have that, so ideally every company should be doing user research, because that is eventually beneficial for us. So if the companies don't have that resources to deploy people who are specifically doing user research, so sometimes they buy data from companies. So does anyone of you know about this consulting part of the Swiggy? Does anyone know?
No, sir.
So Swiggy, what actually Swiggy does? So Swiggy is actually running its delivery business in loss. Like now you're seeing now everyone would be seeing everyone would be getting offers on it's Swiggy's sixth birthday or Swiggy's eighth birthday, and you get so many offers for it at different restaurants, right? But
Right.
what is actually happening? They are giving more discounts than we can imagine. Like they are giving 150 discounts on a single order. Do you think that is feasible for them? That is not
But
feasible.
they actually charge around 35% more than the actual price of the product, right?
Yes, and that is completely true. Like if you go offline, you will find that thing very cheaper. But then also like the difference that will like even so, let's say they are charging 35% extra and then they are giving discounts of flat 50%, flat 60%. Then they are challenging their offer method also, no? Like the structure that they have like prepared for the marketing. So
Yes.
But
eventually, what is happening is yes, Spanna?
this discounts, I think Swiggy doesn't give this discount. The restaurant owners give this discount. Yeah, Swiggy gives only for those outlets, like those which are brands. For example, Quality Worlds, or let's say Domino's or something like that. Those which are brands, but not for the local restaurants. Local restaurants, they themselves give those discounts. What I know.
Mhm. So that's it. So wherever the possibility is, if you are skipping that point, like let's say I'm not, like, I'm now I'll not say that Swiggy is giving discount. Let's say Swiggy is giving discount wherever it is possible. May it be quality walls or may it be a local restaurant through maybe directly or indirectly, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But then also the revenue that is that is being generated from that source is not that much as compared to the consulting work that they are doing. So what consulting work they are doing, suppose any restaurant is going to be set up in some area. So now Swiggy has the data, complete data of that area, that what type of interaction patterns that people are following, right? Whether they are ordering veg food or non-veg food and how they are
Okay.
interacting with things, right?
Okay. Okay.
So they have that complete data and they are into this consulting part. They're the consulting part now. Swiggy has its main wing in the consulting part now. It is like it is very well known for the delivery purpose, but that has a wing in consulting part where it is making much money as compared to that thing, and that is the main business that has become. So
Consulting of what?
consulting for like setting like giving data to different companies who
Okay.
want to set up some food outlets or something in
Yeah,
that in
they gave
specific
yes.
area,
Yeah.
in specific areas, because they know the interaction pattern
Correct.
that is going to happen in that area, right? So
Right.
that is a very like they are indirectly like getting more business than what it is going coming up with the delivery part, right? So there, that's where the importance of user research, like they are just getting insight from of the user interaction pattern in different ways, right? So that is like that is the reason why like do the research to know how people think and how people interact and how people behave in specific manner, and how we can take inferences from that to shape up our design process or the design research that we are going to do, right? So and that brings us to the point that the user is not me. So let's first understand our user. So understanding user becomes a very important and very crucial thing, right? So just starting with an example, is it easy for a blind person to use touch screen smartphones? What do you think? Like what would you design like how would you design a solution or a new smartphone for blind people? Any
Like
ideas coming up?
the old keypad phones would be better for them.
Hmm. Yeah, phone keypad phones will be better for them. What else? What else can be there? Like I
Uh,
want everyone to just come up with ideas. Like most of the like I see only few people are talking. Spandan, Sanjeev, and sometimes Ronak is talking. So Ashwarya is talking. So I want all of you to talk. Like it is not a one way thing. Like please feel comfortable in talking and coming up with things. Like even though let's say we'll be able to cover lesser things, but understanding things is way more important, right? So feel free to talk into class. Yes, Spandan, you were saying something.
so like voice user interface could be incorporated in those
Hmm.
phones.
Yes, voice user interface can be a solution. What else? Like what you would do if you have to redesign it? Like you have to innovate a completely new product into the space. What you would do? Like not talking about just features in the phone. Like how would you approach? Like how would you do some like how would you start the design process from?
First, I have to meet similar kinds of people, like
Yes.
obviously those who are uh, those who are blind or have some.
Exactly. So that is what I was trying to like get what, like if you're saying or not. So first point is like, so initially so see what happened with us initially. We initially started with solution part, but now we are saying that we'll be understanding the user, like target user, the blind people and especially able people, how they are interacting with this with gadgets, and what things are they are finally finding similar, easy or difficult, because we are not them, right? So it becomes very important for us to understand them and just talk to them, have make interaction with them and understand, because like these people are very very smart people. So some things which we think that they cannot do, they will be easily able to do that, and that is absolutely not a problem with them, right? So first we need to understand that whether the hypothesis that we are making, that is correct or not. So we start with a hypothesis that this is something that, like this is the problem that is being faced by people, and I need to do a research on that, right? So first you select the problem statement, then you select the target people, the target people on which you want to conduct your user research on, and then you focus on some areas. You can just make conversation with them as fluid as possible. But what you can do is what you can do is you can just talk to them and then find out what are the things that they are facing, so that you could one thing that you will get for sure, that you will find out whether your hypothesis that you thought of, is it actually right or not, or if it is not right, then what is the actual thing that is happening to them, right? This you will be able to find out with the help of user research, right? Agreed to it, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So So that's why we conduct user research. So the user research is of two types, which is primary and secondary. And primary research, primary research can be further of two types. That will be qualitative and quantitative, where you qualitative research refers to taking interviews or shadowing or contextual inquiry, and secondary interview like second like quantitative research can be directed to surveys, like surveys, Google forms, where you ask a specific questions and then you proceed ahead with that, right? And secondary research relates to any research that is not done in person, and you get some other information sources to get information, like you get to browse internet, you read article, and you would research paper and all. So that is the source of secondary research. Like the research has already been done, you are just using that already done research for your use, right? Any confusion till here? Any confusion here? Primary research and secondary research. Yes, guys.
No.
So whenever we are talking about primary research, so we'll be starting with the individual user interviews, and for that will be like it's a very common thing, like it's a very prevalent thing in the industry as well, to do user interviews. So what we do at Rapido is we randomly select people from all across India, and then now meeting them in person is not possible, so we can only cover Bangalore as of now. But we call people and then we try to talk to them that what is the thing that they are facing, if they are able to give us insights or to work upon, so something like that. So that is also there, right? So so most evident thing is primary research is conducting individual user interviews. So individual interviews can last up to 20 minutes to 1 hour, ideally. So these images are from one of my batch students, like who were doing research, and we just snapped a photo of them. So like what individual interviews allow us, it allows us to probe the attitudes, desires, experiences to get deeper understanding of user psychology. That the whole point is to understand the user's mindset and find out why the user is interacting in some particular way and why not the other way around, right? So medium that you can follow for interviews is, right now, since we are living in pandemic era, so you can if possible, the best thing would be face to face, like you are sitting with person and then you're conducting interview. Other thing can be like a video conference or a phone call, or via instant messaging system can also be there, like WhatsApp or Instagram, right? So that will be very helpful. Like whatever you feel comfortable in, just that you need to find out the quality insights from any one of it, whatever medium you are preferring. So try to find out the quality insights from that, right? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And whenever there are some specific do's and don'ts for conducting user interviews, before we jump onto making questionnaires on Miro board, there are some do's and don'ts of the user interviews that you need to follow, which is have a conversation rather than an interview and ask user to tell stories rather than yes or no answers. So the point is you are not and we do not want users to tell answers in just yes or no, because you will not be able to synthesize that in any deeper manner, right? If you feel that you are not getting some questions, you are not getting some answers, you can ask follow-up questions as well, like ask what, how, and why, so that you could get better insights on that. The don'ts will be, the most important don'ts will be, like, do not say leading statements, let them break the silence. As in, leading question can be referred to, ki, do you feel irritated when you get added to a random WhatsApp group? So this is already a leading question. Like the user will say, yes, I get irritated. Yes, possibility. Yeah, this can be a possibility, right?
Yeah. Rather, we'll ask, how do you feel when you get added to a random WhatsApp group? Then there can be two possibilities. Either he feels good or he feels bad.
Yes, exactly. So, like you can ask the same question other way around it, like, what is your thinking when you get added to a random WhatsApp group, right? So in that way, he can open up to positive and negative thing, also, right? So he can maybe give us insights on different things, that what is the good thing that is happening and what is the bad thing that is happening, right? So do not ask about future or solutions. So take suggestions from them, that like what you like take suggestions from them, that what you find that is not there, what are the difficulties, that, or what is the thing that you think that it is missing here. You can ask questions like that, but you can not ask that what type of solution you want to, you want to see in the as a product, because it can be like, you can talk, you might be talking to a person who is not considering the feasibility aspect of the problem, right? What is possible and what is not possible. He can just put out words like anything, like he will say laga ki, if he thinks that this will be cool and this will be very good for me, he will just say it without thinking about the feasibility perspective of it. Instead of it, what we can do is instead of it, we can ask them that, what do you think that is missing from this thing? Like if you are doing a product audit, like let's say you are redesigning Arogya Setu app, then what you are doing? So you can ask people that what are the things then that what are the things that you find missing from the Arogya Setu, and how like and how does it affect you. So they will open up to different opportunity areas, not the solution but opportunity areas they will open up to, and that will be the best thing for you because you are looking for the opportunity areas only. The solutions is something that you are going to decide at later point of time, right? Based on the insights and synthesizing insights you are going to make it, but you are eventually going to uh, put out insights based on that, right? Agree to it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is how it is done. So okay. So we'll be doing an activity of questionnaires, preparing questionnaires for interviews, and we'll be doing some insights. So since we don't have like we are not right now we are talking to any user. So you are the user, whoever is present in this session, you are the user only, and we will be taking insight from you only. First, we will be crafting questions based on any problem statements that we are going to do. If so, everyone, if you are not on Miro, please log into Miro, and I'm just sharing the link to Miro board again and the password. So whoever have not joined, please join it again. Please join it so that is everyone here? I see 6 people here. Still six, 9, 10, 8 people are still missing right now. 7 people.
You're asking to join Miro?
Yeah. I'm asking to join Miro. Everyone, please come to Miro World. Like, don't like. We'll be taking a break from like so long presentation. Like that keeps on going. Let's do some
I'm
activity so that it becomes more engaging.
I'm able to log in from my mobile, but not through my laptop.
Ajay, you are able to log in with the mobile. That should ideally not happen actually. Let me share the link again. I've already shared the link. Just I'll reshare the link again in the chat. See if you are able to log in with that. Yeah, 10 people are here. 10 people are here. Just give me two.
Yes, I'm in.
Yeah, just give me 2 seconds. So yeah, should we start? So I'm putting out a problem statement. Putting out a problem statement on the Miro board on the frame one. So everyone, please, if you will click on my profile icon, you will get to the place where my cursor currently is. So if you click on my profile icon, you will just go to the place where I am right now. Did you all find
What is your name in Miro?
Aditya Sharma? Aditya Sharma. Yeah. So I'm just putting out a problem statement that you have to understand the nutrition related problem in the problem in the rural areas of India, 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 and have to design rural areas of India and find have to understand the user base here and find out solutions based on it, right? In the form of based on it in the form of digital products. This is the problem statement that I like. I'm randomly picking up I'm randomly ideated a problem statement like which is a very real life scenario which in the rural areas. So like so what we are going to do is is that understood by everyone or is anyone confused of what the problem statement right now is?
Understood, sir.
Understood. So we'll just try to figure out what questions we can ask to like. So first thing, so starting with the actual thing that is required. So first thing is will be the demographics. Demographics contains what is the target what is the target user that you are taking into consideration for doing the research on, like what is the age of the people and what is the location of the people. This fall under the demographics. So just copying the whole thing and then writing out demographics for it. So what do you think, what should be the target audience or not the target age of people for which will be doing the research on? So nutrition problem generally happens with for which age? So that generally happens with the women and the children, right?
At the early age, sir.
At the early age, right? So we can maybe you can target on like I'm not restricting anyone to not interview the male population, but yeah, initially will make the hypothesis that women and children are the most affected people. So women and kids of age, uh, women and kids and demographics. You can maybe you can demographics you can choose of uh,
Women, kids, and older people.
older people. Yeah, older people. It's older people. And what is the location that you would be looking at? What is the location that will you will be looking at? Any idea to anyone that like what is the badly affected, like most badly affected place across India with the nutrition thing? Any idea? Maybe the tribal areas which are there, which the tribal areas which are there mainly
Assam, Meghalaya.
Assam, Meghalaya, Chhattisgarh, some parts of some very small, some very remote parts of Jharkhand as well, right?
And even Odisha.
Odisha.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So you can maybe write any one place and then you can craft your questionnaires based on that, right? So you have done user segmentation that what kind of users you are focusing on, that is women, kids, and older people. You will now write down the demographics that you are looking at. Demographics as in the place where let's do for uh, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, right? Chhattisgarh, right? So this has like this is the demographics that we have thought on. Okay, this is the demographic that we are going to cover in the in the questionnaires. Now you have to think of what questions you are going to ask to users, right? what questions you are going to ask to users, and then so starting. So whenever you start with the questionnaires of UX user interviews, so you always start with understanding like giving like making the user at ease, and then going ahead with the questions, right? So so has anyone left like slums? Yeah, slums is there. Jigyasa have written slums. So maybe like it depends on you that what kind of demographic you want to explore. That is entirely up to you. Like I'll not be like putting in a very hard and fast rule that no, I'm doing for Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh only. It is dependent on you that what kind of problem statement you are exploring and then how you are doing your research, right? So starting how the starting should be there. So starting should be there with the grounding questions as in understanding the user and making the user feel comfortable with you. So the overall goal is to make everything in a form of a conversation so that people do not feel intimidated with what you're doing. Otherwise, they will feel very conscious, and then they will not tell you the actual things, actual insights of what they want to tell. Agreed?
But here again, if you take a further dig on this particular question, since we have demographic for women, kids, older people, so kids might not tell us also what is the problem because they might not be aware as well.
Hmm, hmm.
So how do
Yes.
we tackle such?
So, so we can. So for kids, what we can do is for kids we can probably do a secondary research, which is already present in at some place, right? Because if we are not directly able to get the direct data from kids, so we can hit on the target size of the kids who are in the age of 8 to 10 years or maybe 12 years, right? They will be able to tell what is happening with them, but not kids who are below that age, right? Generally speaking, so you can refer to the secondary research data which is available on the internet, like what is the nutrition, like a nutritional report that has the recent report which is in context to nutrition and well-being of kids, women, and older people in rural areas, right? Understood?
Right.
So you can start with grounding questions like what can be possible grounding question like you all have the like access to the board. You can just put down a sticky note here, and then you can write down whatever question you feel that it can be possible. Like what is the initial question that you will put. So all like think in a way that it should be a question that is grounding as in it should not be very directed towards the thing that we are going to ask, like making them feel comfortable in whatever in in a way that whatever they are making, right? What questions you can ask, you can directly write down questions, like that is no bar, you can directly write down questions as well, like the name and age, so we can obviously will ask like we can talk about what like we can what about we can talk about, yes, the kind of food that they are eating. We can talk about like do you get proper do you get proper meal or not, are you having proper meal or not, what is the diet, like what is the generic diet that they are following, right? Hmm. We can start with kind of food they are eating on daily, what food they have on regular basis. Yes. How much do you spend per day? Right, right. Very nice question. So we can write down questions like this. So whoever wants to write in, then they can just pitch in. You can just pick up a sticky note and you can just pitch in the question, the type of question that you want to. Do they get sufficient food in a day? Yes. Do they have? What medications are you taking? So we can think of what problems like then what food on a regular basis. Do they need sufficient food in a day? Do they have difficulties in getting food for daily purpose? Yes, right. Hmm. Yeah, so I think we have got like very nice questions to ask. We can start with kind of food that they are eating on daily basis. Second, what kind of food is available in that area. So and wait. So this is grounding questions. Grounding questions. Right now, after you do the grounding questions, now you go into the dig, digging and dig deep questions. Like whatever things that you really want to that you really want to know from people, like what is the issue that they are facing with that thing. So right now you can write you can maybe write notes like what problems uh, lens they face with the food they eat, or is the food healthy or not, right? Some nutritional problems, like do you get do you get proper nutrition from the food you eat, right? So how much, like these questions, like you can go in, like now when you have when you have asked the grounding question, then you can dig a little deeper into the type of question that you are going to ask, like understanding now you can understand the real problems that they are facing, right? So keep adding questions. So we have covered one third of the part, and then we are just putting it on prompts on what questions to ask. That is a very easy thing that is going on. You are doing very nice, right? Anyone has any doubt, anything that you want to ask in between that you are not sure of before writing, or anything like that?
Is there a way where we can validate what questions we are asking are actually making sense?
So that thing only you can do with asking people. So once you start getting insight, so initially, so whenever you start, when you have done making questions, so it is not suggested you go directly and ask that question to a very large audience. You initially you talk to some people, two three people, and then get an idea whether then those questions are working or not, right? If that is not working, then reiterate on what good questions that you can ask, right? And then refine the questionnaire. So questionnaires that are not just made one time, but they are also refined in a way that you could. So it should be asked in a way that you get quality insights from them. So even if you ask 10 questions only, and if you are getting 10 very good insight from those 10 questions, that is very sufficient. No need to ask so many questions. If you're getting that much of insight from the data that you have, or the question that you are asking, that is very well done, right? Even 10 questions can do a very good job. right? So the method of validating is the only method of validating that is to ask people what they are facing and to ask people these questions. And if you think that these questions are not working, then you can ideate on new questions that what are the questions that I should go with, and then if they require is it required that I should uh, make new questions or reiterate on questions and then get into proper of it, right? Did I answer your question?
Yes, Aditya.
Yeah. So do you get proper nutrition from the food you eat? What problems? How much money they are ready to spend on a healthy diet if provided to them? You can maybe ask them what is the general income that you are making since since they are living in rural areas. So living normal life is also it's a also very big challenge, right? So they are only confined to having the basic necessities and they do not think of much luxurious life, not in the food as well. They eat food that should fill the belly, that's it. So what you can do, so what you can there are n number of alternatives which we know, but is it available to them as well? That is the thing that we are trying to explore, right? So you can write it. If you think that can be a potential question to ask, you can write it down. And once you're done with the dig deep question, then what you need to do is you need to dive into the last set of questions, which opens up to opportunity areas, open up to opportunities area, right? Which open up to opportunity areas, right? Which open up to opportunity areas, and then you ask a user that what do you think that you what what do you think is missing on do you know any methods do you know any methods to make nutrition to make food more nutritious, right? These kind of questions, like which provoke the opportunity areas, which like it might be a possibility that they know many things related to the good which is towards the good solution space, but since they are not able to do that with certain factors, they are not doing it. So that is also something that you can explore, right? And you can ask questions based on that, like which are towards the opportunity areas but that are not towards solution. The goal is not to come to the solution right now but to explore the problem space. That is what we are trying to achieve right now.
Can we mark all the questions in one single?
What?
Can we mark all the sticky note in one single sticky note?
Yeah, you can do that. Like you have to just copy paste it, and like you have to just copy paste it and you can make it.
Okay, we
Like
can
double click on it and you'll be able to make it.
great then.
So, like, did you understand like how you what kind of questions and how you make questionnaires? Like, what type? How do you start with the making the questionnaires? What type of question is coming afterwards, and how to end with questions?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So this is what we are trying to achieve in the making of questionnaires. After that, what we are going to do.
One one doubt here. Whatever example in this case, whatever example we are taking, it's like a B2C, but in B2B, it will be difficult to get question. I mean, to get question like this.
Talking about right now you're talking about B2C, like you're saying that this is B2C more
Yeah,
B2C kind of question.
right,
So
right.
when exploring toward the B2B questions, you have to approach NGOs especially who are working towards these lines, because they will be able to give you more insights on what can be created for them. Because if you are thinking of some product which are from B2B line, so what will happen, you are eventually going to create something. You are eventually going to be creating something that will be into use of them, like the NGO people or the
Like
organization which.
for example, if we are trying to create some product for as a SaaS product,
Mhm.
so difficult to get, even to think about question is very difficult.
Mm-hmm. So, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to find out people who are already into that domain, because unless you don't find them, you will not be able to analyze what things are going on in that domain, right?
Okay,
That is the like challenge there. Like since these these nutrition related works are like either it is so elite that people who have money they can afford it, or that is so much into ground levels or into the government schemes that they are only handling it, right? There's like there's no company, like there are very few organizational companies who are actually working in this domain, because the reason is it is not profitable. It is only given to people, right?
yeah, there's no monetization.
Yeah, like the monetization part is the one driving factor here, due to which people are not ready to take this up. But this is a very big design challenge that needs to be taken up, right? So like as a designer, like it is our task to do into like work into that domain, which is important, because nothing like it is one very big thing is that you need to have money for everything, but you need to like let's say as a designer, if you are working on such kind of products, such kind of projects, so maybe you can draft a project and then you can submit it to the government. Like government is already like, people don't know this, but government is already ready to take up these kind of projects. Just that you need to find out the proper person to reach out. All the government schemes are eventually like a result of these research processes only. Like you are doing some research on nutrition, you submit it to the government, and eventually they'll be rolling out some application or some portal for that, which can be totally your idea, right?
Yeah, right,
So that is like as a IITian, as a NIDian, it becomes our responsibility, my and your responsibility to work in that domain, because there are very handful of people who are actually working in that domain, not thinking about the monetary part, but towards the towards the more public schemes kind of public policy kind making kind of approach, where we are applying the design research approach and coming up with some solution which can be really impactful, right?
right. Makes sense.
So that is there. So yeah, let's I'll take a stop here, and I'll tell you what needs to be done after this. So after this, so what you have to do is, in the coming week, what you have to do, you get whole 1 week to work on this solution. So you are not going to work on this problem statement. That for sure. If you can like modify this, maybe if you can modify this problem statement and you want to take it up, that you can do. Like I think that still there is a potential of this problem statement to be improved in a good manner. Just that needs to be thought upon. And if someone wants to take this up, just rework on it and then find out a problem statement and then define demographics and work on it. So as an assignment, so I'll tell you as an assignment what you have to do. So some of the things that is there. So first and second things you can easily do. So assignment. So this was initially one whole assignment that I wanted to give you. But first is explore the problem space and do user segmentation, for which a user you are making the like you will be exploring the research space on, and prepare questionnaires and conduct user interviews. Right. So that you can do, right? That will not be an issue for you.
Right.
Right? Can I, can anyone can everyone do this? Yes, no,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Please please
Can,
feel comfortable in speaking up, guys. Like I'm not.
can you also share some other problem
Sorry.
statement? Can you also share some other problem statement as well? Like we can pick others.
Yeah, sure, sure. I'll be sharing. I'll be sharing you a different problem statement as well. So, uh, so initially, I want you all to explore. Like, if you want, I can share like multiple problem statements from my end as well, which you can work upon. But like the point is, like, I'll be definitely sharing you. That is not a big task. But what I want to do is like I want you to explore around your space so that you can get a gist of how to explore problem statements around you,
Okay.
right? So I'll be sharing you. So I'm not sure. So how we are connecting with like after this? So there will be 1 week gap. So is there any medium that we are going to connect? Maybe you can make a group and add me to it, right? So that we could just.
Yeah, we can make WhatsApp group. So
Hmm. So do that. I'll share my contact and then you can just take a or maybe if you are on Discord, are you on Discord? Like, do you people use Discord?
no, I'm in Telegram and WhatsApp.
Okay. So if possible, I can make a Discord channel and you can all join into that so that we could you fully utilize that 1 week space. I'll just drop in a Discord. Um, So there is so I'm sharing a Discord link in the chat. So anyone can join into that. So there's a private channel that I've created. So you can join into this Discord link and everyone can connect with each other and you can share any progress that you are making and over the week and then we can discuss on new areas, right? So this is the Discord link. Please, moderator. I would request moderators to please save this link and share it to the people.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
And also, please, if you can send through mail.
yeah, sure. And I'll ask EduVitae team to do that. That
Sir,
would be
can't I have joined, but it says you can't send messages.
is it? So you have joined, right? So if you have joined, then I'll add you. Like that is not a big thing. I'll make sure that yeah, Spendan have joined. So add members. So see if you are able to look at the channel.
What is the name of the channel?
Yes, yes. Now I
IIT
get it.
Guwahati
Thank you,
UX.
sir.
Yeah, no worries. So
Okay.
you all can join into that Discord channel, and like you can share your progress on that channel. Like as well, like whatever question that you have, anything that you want to ask, so you can do that, right? So the first 2 points you need to do for the assignment for this week, and like conduct user interviews. And after user interviews, what you have to do, like just like I'm just sharing my screen so that you could see what is happening. Some Miro. mm, this is all part of a research. Well, I'll just show you you need to do. Is it visible?
Yes.
So once you do the interview, so you have to put down all the insights that you are getting. So it is suggested. I will suggest all of you to like use the same Miro board for every one of all 12, 15, or 16 of you who are there. So please use the same board. Don't create a new board. That board is sufficient for accommodating all of you. That single
Where
issue.
where we can get this board? I mean, any link?
Like like this is what I'm trying to like this you have to make it like how you have
Okay.
put down the sticky notes for
In their
questions.
facility, have to make it.
Yeah, so for interview one, whatever insight that you have got from the users, you have to write it down. For similarly for second interview, third interviews, fourth interviews, like you can see that like these are the actual insights from the users. Professionally, I can say since 2018 I am in this field.
Okay.
Like these are actual insight from the user, that user what the user is saying, you have to just track it. You just have to track it and put it on the Miro board. But just what you have to do, just put your name above it so that I could understand that this is your work and this is your work, right?
Yeah.
That will be a best thing to see. Otherwise, I would find everyone works similar, and I will not be able to distinguish between that, right? So that you can do. So initially you have to do till here, and we'll be covering from affinity mapping in the next session. We'll be doing affinity mapping, persona creation, customer journey map, mind mapping, and then we'll be moving ahead with the visual design principles and the wireframing part.
We'll also doing storyboarding.
Yeah, we'll be doing storyboarding as well. So along with scenarios, we'll be doing storyboarding. After we do a persona and scenario, then we'll be doing storyboarding, and then we'll be continuing to the customer journey map and all. Right?
Okay.
So yeah, so that was it from my end. Anything that you want to share for this particular session? How did you find this session? Like I really want to have a feedback on how this session went for all of you, so that I could plan it accordingly for the next sessions.
It was good, Aditya. This is my personal opinion, and I have been reading about UI and UX, so I have some knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But doing hands-on, you started with the hands-on, which is very good, and we got to know new tools.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the main difference is for the other, which are already in social media, a lot of content for this UI UX, but
Mm-hmm.
it started with the practical thing which differentiate and which make more sense when you are actually doing the things by your own.
Yeah, like that is a overall point. Like that, like how what I initially said, that working on a mainstream idea, that is something that you can do at any point of time.
Yeah,
But people don't initiate ideas on their own. That is the thing that is differentiate from you from any other people. So when you will sit in a design interview after this, and you have made projects on your own original ideas, that will make you stand out from everyone else in the room.
yeah. like affinity mapping, persona, and everything I know. Means I've
Yeah.
read it, but I've not done hands-on. Not done hands-on on particular one case.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. So that might be very useful for you, like in the coming session. Yeah, nice, nice. What about others? And anyone else want to speak up regarding?
So it was a good session.
Good session, sir.
Nice. I hope
Uh,
you come up with nice. Like I get to see nice work being done. So I'm not giving very much big assignment. So only you have to conduct user interviews and place it and place the insights on the Miro board. So I think you must come up with nice insights, then which we can further synthesize to see what how it is shaping up to form some digital product, right?
Adit, one question
Yes.
on design part. How
Yes.
much percentage of weightage is there for coloring to understand the concept or knowledge of color? Like that is
Yeah.
also under
Yeah,
design.
yeah. So there is a in third session there is a coverage of color psychology and color selection for UI design and how to create style guides and all. So that will be covered already.
How much weightage it is there in whole UI UX?
So it holds a very good importance, but like you cannot say about the weightage like percentage of it. Like it is it is used like it is an ideation that happens in the beginning of the visual design, and then you keep on continuing with using colors and those whatever you have decided. So you cannot really say that what is the weightage of it, but yeah, it is a very important aspect of the visual design.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Adit. It was
No
good
worries,
session.
no worries. So, yeah,
Thank you, sir.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
So
Any more
moderator,
questions
if
from
you can
Uh,
send
from
recording, it will be great.
yeah?
If moderator can send recording link or something, so that
Yeah,
will.
yeah. I'll be sharing that on Discord link. So I guess the moderators have been saved the Discord link, and I'll be sharing the same link on via I'll share through EduVitae Services as well, and I'll be sharing on Discord as well. Like after this session, within half an hour, this will be processed, and then I'll be sharing you this link. Okay?
I'll share the Discord link on WhatsApp group once.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then I think that is it for today.
Sir,
Mhm.
just
Yes.
one question out of curiosity. Sir, the model the image which you have shown, you made this in Blender?
The
The the person
this
sitting.
this image that you are seeing on the screen.
Yeah. So you
I did not make it. That is there is a design library, but yeah, that has been made in Blender only.
okay? So how much time does it take to make this kinds of models? Like,
So it entirely depends on what experience you have in the Blender. It might take very short amount of time if you already know Blender, because these are just basic shapes. Though all the work that is there that goes mainly in this design is the hands which are there. If you have a close look at legs and hands, those are a very basic cylindrical structures which are there, which
hmm,
have been used. Right.
hmm,
So major part has been invested on the hand making of hands, not even and the headphones, right? So that will take a little while, but if you are very familiar with Blender, then it is not going to take very much time.
okay. Is there a library where we can download this kind of models or images?
Yeah, like this library is called Sally, Sally, Sally 3D Illustrations, which is freely available on internet. You can just go and check it, download it.
Okay, so okay. Thank
Yeah,
you, sir.
and rest of it, like I'll keep sharing you different design assets over the course of sessions coming on, right? So that you could have access to it and you could use it as way you want.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hi
Yeah. Thanks.
Aditya. The session was really amazing because I've been interested in UI and UX for so long, and finally getting to learn this is really interesting. And
Thanks.
thanks for the amazing session. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
I'm happy that you all are liking it. So I hope this gets even more better in coming sessions so that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the most interesting part that you will feel like you see in like, whenever we'll do the animations and micro interactions, that is the most engaging part because
Yeah,
generally what happens, people feel a little disconnected whenever the UX starts because that is not the general ideation of
yeah,
people
exactly.
like how whether like people like I have delivered many talks in different colleges and different IITs.
Okay.
So this is very common everywhere. So till the visual design does not come, people feel a little disconnected
Yeah, yeah,
from the
yeah.
point.
Visuals are little more interesting than
Yeah,
the
yeah.
theory
This,
part.
like, if something is happening, some animation is happening on the screen that looks very fascinating to people,
Yeah,
and they want to quickly learn it.
yeah,
But like only people who know the actual importance of doing research, then they are engaged to it. So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
completely okay in the like when the
But the
time
session was
changes.
really nice. So thank you.
Thanks for it. Thanks for it. So yeah, okay. I think I'll take a leave now, and then I'll be sharing the recording like as I said. So yeah, thank you for all. Thank you all of you for joining. And then we meet back Sunday on 9 a.m. in the morning, 9 to 12, and then we'll be covering rest of the things.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, like can I know you know I was it would be very easy for me to know who is on the other side. Like right now, I cannot read out the name as it is only mentioning workshop.
Yeah, yeah, sir. Nupur Gaikwad, they said I'm one of the core team members for workshop.
Okay, okay. Annapurna, right?
Nupur,
Sorry,
Nupur.
sorry, Nupur, Nupur.
Yeah,
Okay. So so it is easy for me to address. Like otherwise, I have to figure out what name I should. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, sure. Nupur, this side.
no worries. So yeah, thanks for it. Thanks for the session, and then we
Yes, sir.
meet.
It was a nice session.
Yeah, thanks for it.
Yeah, sir. Sure.
Yeah, okay, I'll take a leave now. And then,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I can share you the like you can also join the Discord. I'll be sharing that link and
Yes, sir. I have joined it.
okay, okay, very nice, very nice. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be just sharing you things.
Yes, sir.
Okay.